Hi guys, so my name's Lewis and thank you for joining my channel today. Now I wanted to talk about today the H1 working holiday visa and why it's something that you should definitely try and embark on to have your own adventure here in South Korea. Now, depending on the country that you're from, the working holiday visa has either unlimited spots, or if it's a country which has a quota like the UK, then mine has 1,000 spaces per year, some has 2,000, 3,000, and so on. Now, definitely once you have decided to embark on South Korea as your working holiday destination, there are things that you need to do to prepare your documents and activity plan before you actually submit your documents to the embassy to get that all-important visa. Now, first up, definitely do your research. Now, Korea is not for the faint-hearted, and although it's a beautiful, magical destination, it does have its challenges and hurdles along the way. One of the biggest ones that I'm sure you're aware of is the language. Now, the language is quite easy to learn. However, if you're like me and wanting to come on a working holiday, I actually didn't learn the language before I come. I actually moved here pretty quick. So I actually had no understanding about the Korean language or Korean culture really for that matter. However, Hangul is quite simple to learn, so I do recommend trying to at least learn the alphabet before you come. It will make your life a lot easier while you're here. However, if you do not have time, don't worry. On the working holiday visa, you can actually sign up and study part-time for Korean language. Typically, you need to have a D4 or a short-term student visa to do that, but the working holiday visa allows you to do the Korean language course at certain centres and universities. Now, the working holiday visa does what it says on the tin. So primarily it's for travel and pick up part-time jobs along the way. So you could work in a coffee shop, a retail shop, maybe do some nannying or babysitting. However, English-speaking kids cafes are also an option, but let me be clear, it is a fine line between teaching English, which is usually required to be from a native country and have a E2 visa, so a language teaching visa. But most of the time, English-speaking kids cafes are absolutely fine. You'll be named as what's called a facilitator, and that basically means that you supervise kids, you work closely with kids, but you're not actually teaching kids. You're just having fun and playing in English, typically through soft play or perhaps arts and crafts as well. Now, I actually started my working holiday adventure in Seoul. I stayed there for about 6 weeks, and then I travelled down to Daejeon, where I actually worked in a language exchange. I wasn't actually paid, so what I did, I had free bed and board, so accommodation and basic food, and maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, 3 or 4 days a week, I'd go to the language exchange where we would have English conversation with university students since it was close to the university. Now, after that, I headed further south and I went to the small, beautiful town of Gimhae. Now, in Gimhae, I actually worked on a farm strawberry picking. I was actually paid, so that's great. I was paid a lower amount, but I also had bed and board as well. And it gave me a great chance to do something different for myself and also see a different side of Korea compared to Seoul, the megacity, to Gimhae, a small country town. For me, that's exactly what I wanted to do, experience different things whilst traveling here. Now, I'm talking about travel, and one of the documents that you need while applying for your working holiday is what's called an activity plan. Now, an activity plan basically outlines the 12 months that you will spend here and what you will do. So it doesn't have to be really, really detailed, but it does need some details in it. So, for example, you could put something like January to February, Busan, learning Korean language, finding part-time job. Next month, you could put Daegu, traveling around, enjoying the Chimek Festival, so the Chicken and Beer Festival. Next month, you could put Gwangju, finding part-time job, studying Korean, or making friends, or traveling. So it just needs some details in each section. Now, another great thing about the working holiday is that when you work, you can work a total of 1,300 hours per year. Now, that doesn't have to be with the same employer, it could be with different employers, as many employers as you like, depending on your nationality. But again, the total work that you do should not exceed that amount. Now, that typically works out around 20 to 25 hours per week. So it's actually not that bad. And of course, you do want to travel west to here as well. So I wouldn't recommend just staying in Seoul. I'd recommend traveling around, enjoying the travel, but also finding a small job to support you along the way. Now, one of the things to be mindful for when you apply for the working holiday visa, so you need to have the application, the activity plan. You also need to have a round trip ticket to submit to the embassy. Now, what I did, because I obviously planned on coming one way and I didn't know when I would be going back to the UK, I did buy an open-ended ticket with a return date on, but that did incur additional cost because it was a more expensive ticket, but it did allow me to refund it. So once I had my visa approved, I cancelled that, got all my money back, booked a cheaper fare to come here, and yeah, the rest is history. Now, TB, you do need to make sure that you have a TB vaccine and clear health records when you apply for the working holiday visa. I did not actually have the vaccine, so I had to go and have the vaccine, get a certificate to submit with my documentation. On top of that, you do need to have a clean criminal record, and depending on your nationality, you may be required to submit a criminal background check or DBS check if you're from the UK, and that can be done quite easily. Now, once you've got all your documents, your passport size photos, and everything else up together, you do need to send them off. At the time for me, it was a Korean embassy. And once they've got the documents and going through the documents, they will call you for a short, maybe 5-minute telephone interview, just to really verify the details that you've submitted to them. Once that's done, then you will hear back. Now, for me, I was quite fortunate. Once I applied for my visa, sent everything off, I had my telephone interview within about 2 days, and I had all the paperwork back all within a week because it was done just after the first lockdown in the UK during COVID time. Now, you do need to travel within about 90 days once you've got your visa approved and you have a visa reference number. When you come to Korea, you need to book a immigration appointment and you need to register for what's called an ARC or Alien Registration Card. And that's basically a Korean ID card which allows you to work, open up a bank, take out a phone contract. So it is really important right away as well. But in terms of finding jobs, you can do that through social media. Craigslist is a great website to have a look on. And also just getting around and meeting people as well. If you want to do like workaway stays like I did, there is a website called Workaway. And you can contact different regions, different people, such as B&Bs that want cleaners or people to stay and make up rooms in turn for free accommodation. So there's definitely loads of options. Now, Korea is a great country. If you are on a UK passport, I didn't know this until I was on my working holiday and it's not advertised, but you can extend for a further 12 months in Korea. Now, what that means is once your visa is on 8 months, so 4 months before the expiry date, you need to register immigration appointment and apply for a visa extension. You need to resubmit another activity plan, but that will then, as long as it's approved, give you a full 24 months in Korea. Sadly, it's not for every nationality, so you will need to look at that and contact immigration directly. But speaking from the UK, I was told by one of my friends now that it was possible because she did it the year before. So I'm very thankful to her for that. And yeah, I haven't looked back at doing my working holiday in Korea. I've been here now for 5 years. I have a different work visa now, so you can check that out on a different video. But yeah, definitely don't be afraid to embark into the unknown and explore South Korea. Now, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about the working holiday program. So please leave a comment below or reach out to me on my social media and I'll be happy to answer those. Thank you for watching and please subscribe.